Hello, my name is Adam Winrich, and in this video I'm going to show you how I put a butt knot on a bullwhip. I will show you all the tools and the steps that I use to make it happen. Here we have everything I need to put the end knot on a paracord bullwhip. You can see I've got some scissors, some knives, some fids, some extra pieces of paracord, and I'm going to use a stapler. I'm going to pound those in with a hammer, and there's the end that I'm going to start working on. So the first thing I'm going to do is bind off the end of this whip, and then I'm going to trim it off square with one of the knives. So I cut off the end square, bound it with artificial sinew, and I've burned the end a little bit. Now to cover that up, I'm going to bind an 8-strand flat braid over the end of that. I bound on the flat braid, and because it only covers 2 sides, I bound 4 little scraps of paracord on the opposite sides, or other sides of the handle, so that way my foundation will stay round for the Turk's head that I will eventually tie. Now I am finished binding, and I trimmed off the extra strands from the flat braid and those filler strands. So now I'm going to take this piece of parachute cord and just do 1 extra wrap of paracord over that to help bulk up this knot. And then I'm going to hold it in place with electrical tape. Dreaded evil electrical tape. You can kind of see in the wrap that I tucked the starting end up underneath as I started wrapping. And then I'm holding it in place with my thumb here, the other end. I basically did 4 complete wraps. And now I'll put electrical tape over it. Now I've done my wrap of electrical tape. Basically here the electrical tape only acts kind of to smooth out the shape of the knot foundation. There's only a couple layers of it, and because this part of the whip does not move, it's fine that electrical tape is in there. I usually wouldn't put electrical tape in a part of the whip that would move, because electrical tape does like slide when it gets hot, like the adhesive slides, and sometimes it can get brittle and just break down. But in this case it's going to be pretty stable. And also I'm going to add some staples in there so this part of the foundation for the butt knot doesn't come sliding off. I added the staples, and the staples are long enough so they go all the way through the extra wrap of parachute cord, through the flat braid that I put on there, and also into the body of the whip. So that will hold my knot foundation in place for a long time. Now I'm ready to start tying my Turk's head. I have not really figured out how to use paracord needles, and they are usually round. So to stiffen the end of my parachute cord to make it easier while I'm tying the knot, what I'm going to do is I'll take this piece of wire from basically a wire coat hanger that I got from a dry cleaners. I cut it about 3 inches long, and I rounded off the ends, and I'm going to shove that up in the end of the parachute cord, and I'm going to fuse that shut, and that'll make the end of the paracord stiff enough so I can weave my knot. And that's what it looks like with the needle in place. In this video, I'm not going to show you how to tie the Turk's head that I'm going to tie, but I will tell you, buy these books, Bushcraft 9, How to Make Whips by Ron Edwards, and Encyclopedia of Rawhide and Leather Braiding by Bruce Grant. I've had these books for years, and I've found them to be invaluable when it comes to learning how to tie knots, in particular, Bruce Grant's book. So the knot that I tied is I think they called a 7-part 6-bite Turk's head. The bites mean every time it comes over the top. So 6 bites, and I did gray in my first pass, so now I'm going to follow it again, this time with a red strand, so the knot will be gray and red. As you can see by my shirt, I believe that no sleeves are the best sleeves. Now I've finished tying my knot, and I would have you notice if there were any gaps in this part before you tighten up the knot. There's only going to be more gaps in the knot when you tighten it up. So you want to make sure when you get to this part that there aren't any gaps in the knot. And if there are, that means either you need to tie a different knot or go back and redo your foundation and make it smaller. I have finished tightening my knot, and I fused the ends off with a cigarette lighter. Now I'm ready to roll it. Basically, I put it on the ground and take a board, and then I roll it, literally, sort of like that with the board on top to smooth out the knot. And there I have rolled my knots, if you can tell, but they have changed shape slightly. I think there you can see how sharp it looks when you put a flat braid over the end of the whip. I like the look of it. And in particular, this pineapple knot really got elongated. And so the knot will shift when I roll it hard like that. So that's kind of why I like to leave a little extra burnt fuse bits of the nylon sticking out, so I know that that won't loosen or shift when I roll it. There is the almost finished Bullwhip. All I have left to do is dip the whole thing in paraffin wax. My name is Adam Winrich. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can email me through my website, winrichwhips.com, and the email is info@winrichwhips.com.